Our armed forces launched a large number of ballistic and winged missiles, as well as drones, at various targets of the Israeli enemy in the occupied territories. The Yemeni armed forces confirmed that this operation is the third operation to support our oppressed brothers in Palestine, and confirmed that we will continue to carry out more strikes with missiles and drones until the Israeli aggression stops.
It's essential to point out the stance that the Yemenis have with respect to this ongoing conflict, and it says that these strikes will continue to happen until the massacre of the Palestinians come to an end. It appears that the Yemeni side will not be backing down. They said this is the third type of attack. It's not the first, and it doesn't seem to be that it will be the last either. The recent developments coming out of Yemen, of course, is concerning because we've been discussing the potential for a spillover of this conflict into the rest of the region, and many experts and representatives, authorities, political or otherwise, suggest that that spillover has already begun. Listening to some of these statements coming out of Yemen, they also suggest that this ongoing aggression from Yemen, or at least against Israel, is happening not just because of the Israeli conflict, but more so because of Israeli-American aggression in the region. This is something that they're quoting as well. We do know that the United States currently has a large presence in the region, whether it's its naval force or the thousands of troops that are currently positioned in those areas. This is another matter that we need to take into consideration when looking at this conflict. So there's a great deal of tension, there's a great deal of resentment as to what's happening and to the scope of all of this, essentially. The United States, as I said, in response, decided to bolster its military presence in the region.
Today I can announce the decision to deploy an additional 300 troops to the U.S. Central Command region from home stations in the continental United States. These additional troops will provide capabilities in explosive ordnance disposal, communications, and other support enablers for forces already in the region. Please note that we will not discuss specific deployment locations for these forces, but I can confirm they are not going to Israel and that they are intended to support regional deterrence efforts and further bolster U.S. force protection capabilities.
This is a matter of great concern because the sentiment coming out of the United States is that it is currently blaming Iran for all of the escalation, suggesting that Iran and Iran-backed groups are solely responsible for all of the uptick in aggression and hostility in the region.
We know that these groups are funded, trained, sponsored by the Iranian government, and we hold the Iranian government responsible for that.
However, many of these groups have, for one way or another, essentially declared that they are acting independently of any state or actor in the region. We're talking about Hezbollah in Lebanon. We're talking about very similar groups in Syria and Iraq, but mostly there have been a number of non-state actors, independent actors within the region, suggesting that if Israel crosses any red lines, that they will be ready to engage Israel and essentially open up new fronts. Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, Yemen. Israel is currently engaged with Hamas in Gaza. We're talking about 5 different fronts that Israel and the United States will have to take into consideration if they want to continue this campaign against Hamas.